Good afternoon. Are you Amanda Binkley?
Yes.
This is Judge Middleton. I'm here at the courthouse in Centerville. Thank you. You're exactly on time. You're 1 minute early. I can hear you. I can see you. Also with us is your landlord from Green Valley Golf Club and Mr. Lance Thornton, who's representing them. This is filed as a non-payment of rent case. They allege you haven't essentially paid any rent this year. As a defendant in a landlord-tenant proceeding, including non-payment of rent, you have the following legal rights. You have the right to obtain counsel for representation in this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. I'm working on my diction here. You have a right to a trial by a jury or by the court. If the action is for non-payment of rent, like this is, and if you are eligible for any help from any program, you do not need a judgment to receive assistance from that program. The summons and complaint from the case should be sufficient. If the plaintiff is agreeable, the Citizens Mediation Services, Inc. may be available as a possible source of case resolution. If both parties are agreeable to mediation, call the court to contact Citizens Mediation Services, Inc. to coordinate resources. That's cumbersome. I usually change it. If you reach an agreement with the plaintiff and a consent judgment is entered by the court, you will waive the rights listed above, but have the following additional rights. The judgment may not be enforced until 3 business days had passed. You could move to set aside this judgment within those 3 days. If you misunderstood what you consented to or what you were waiving, your motion to set aside the judgment would be set for a hearing before the judge, namely me. However, if the judge does not find in your favor, the original judgment would stand. Mr. Thornton has provided me with accounting breakdown, and he claims that rent is $550 per month, which is about as low as you can find here in St. Joe County. And no rent has been paid since December of last year. So the total rent arrearage is $4,950. Do you agree with that or disagree?
I agree.
What's your plan? Do you wish to stay or move?
I wish to stay. I usually pay my rent with my child support, and I'm currently waiting on $6,000 in child support right now. And I got 3 kids that live with me full time. So I'm on unemployment. I only get $162 a week to try to make ends meet. So it's just hard.
Yes. Hopefully that will come because they've been carrying you for the whole year.
Yeah.
And now the law requires that I continue this matter for 7 days. Mr. Thornton's not available when we are. So we're continuing things to September 11th. At 2:30. $220. Now, in addition to the rent, there's a filing fee, an attorney fee, and a process serving fee, which adds to $180, $154. So the total amount due is $5,131.54. Now, who's this support check coming from? The friend of the court, an employer of your spouse, or
where's supposed to be the friend of the court, I believe.
Do you know what the holdup is?
He pays, it usually comes out of his paycheck, and he currently just got hurt at work, so he's getting workman's comp now. So I think it's coming through them. It's supposed to be.
So, all right, I would certainly follow through on that. If you don't pay this rent, you could be subject to being evicted 10 days after September 11th, which would be September 21st. We'd still be in the September rent period. but you owe over $5,000 in rent. Now, during the COVID emergency, there was federal emergency housing money available, and people like you were getting their rent paid. Landlords were being made, and it was
I've
great.
tried to call all the places that I could find, and everybody's out of funding.
And you're not going to find anything for $550 a month. People tell me every week I would move if I had somewhere to move to. And there isn't anywhere to move to because there's not enough housing. And there's certainly not enough affordable housing. And there's about no housing at $550 per month. So
yeah, I've been here for 11, 12 years now, I think.
All right. Well, that's why they've been carrying you this long, I'm sure.
I've got behind before and then caught back up. And
all right. Well, let's hopefully we can get caught up. Share this information with a friend of the court that the wolf is at the door. And so we're going to continue this for 10 days to September 11th at 2:20. And hopefully you get that infusion of capital by then. If not, we'll continue the matter to September. Well, you'd have till September 21st to pay the rent or move. All right. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
All right. You're good to go. Anything further, Mr. Thornton?
Nope, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Binkley, you're good to go. I had a case at Green Valley where the guy absolutely trashed the unit. You certainly remember that. How many units do you have there?
For the apartments, it's 12.
12 apartments in the apartment building. This case we just had involves a house on the premises.
All right. Well, we certainly need all the affordable housing we can get. So I expect every unit is full and you've got a waiting list. But we'll address this further. Hopefully she can pay the rent and stay there with her kids. All right, Lance, I'll see you next time.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. I left the record running and left the live feed on. We are ready to address once again Green Valley Golf Club, Inc. versus Amanda Binkley. Lance Thornton is here with the owner of Green Valley Golf Club, Inc. And Amanda Binkley is here. When we were here last time, we established that there was a substantial arrearage, $5,131. Lance, I don't think I got an update on this one, just the other one. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. This one, to my knowledge, has not changed, and Mr. Santori is sitting here and acknowledges that.
Miss Binkley, what's your position?
I don't have one. I'm gonna probably have to know.
Well, you owe $4,950 in rent.
Yep.
Through September. $181.54 in cost.
Your Honor, just for the record, can we have Ms. Binkley, I think she did, but can we make it clear that she's acknowledging that the rent amount we alleged is correct?
Yeah, it's correct.
I think, yes, I think she did last time, but okay, so you still accept that. Total amount is $5,131.54. You have 10 days to pay that, which is September 21st. I'm going to tell you a couple of other things you need to know. You may be liable for money damages after moving if additional rent is owed or if there's damage to the property. Partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction, and I'm not entering a money judgment right now. You had told us last time you were expecting a lump sum friend of the court check. Let's say you get it, but it's only $4,000. you would still owe an additional $1,131.54. Now, you've lived here for a long time. I think you told me 12 years, and you really wish to stay there.
Yep.
Mr. Santori does not have to evict you on June 21st. By the letter of the law, he can, but he actually has 56 days from today to ask for the writ of eviction, and actually another 56 to serve it. But I think their fear is when October gets here, they're going to be another month behind in the rent. And this is a pretty substantial arrearage. He has a waiting list of people waiting to rent this property. And so I understand you're in a tough position. If you do move, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address within 4 days of your moving, and you need to do that in writing. Did you have any contact with a friend of the court since we were here last?
No. Apparently it's okay to miss your court date and be $6,000 in the hole and never go to jail for child support. So I guess me and the
Well, I
kids will
can't
find
speak
somewhere
to
else to
that, but
live.
yeah, the friend of the court doesn't just write you a check for the arrearage.
Right.
I understand, but that economic hardship on you is now visited on your landlord. And frankly, just putting in someone in jail doesn't get the support paid. It certainly gets their attention. I was under the impression that it was more imminent than that the money had been paid and you were expecting it at any time. It doesn't sound like that's going to happen.
No.
So you should be prepared to move, or you'll be subject to being evicted on or after September 21st, unless the landlord agrees to some alternative solution, which I would encourage you to get in writing. But at this point, I don't think you're going to be able to pay the rent, and you're in a tough spot. Have you asked for any emergency help?
There is no funding whatsoever in the whole county.
There is, I think you're accurate. Even if there was, I think their fiscal year is October 1. So I don't think anybody's got any emergency housing money.
Right. They don't. I've already called everywhere.
All right. I'm sorry. I'll send this copy of this order to your address on Fawn River Road. Is there an apartment number for that, or just the house
No.
number?
Just the house number.
All right. Mr. Thornton, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You're all good to go.
Thank you.
Those are tough.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Meg, we're back Friday. I'll see you later.